Hey everybody, and welcome to Pals Chat. I am Gina Parker. I am here with my co-host Ashley Jones.
Hey,
Ashley, what have you been into this week?
mm. Well, I'm still like on the side doing watching The Bear, which is good. It's getting very like deep and psychological, but I'm also really enjoying Georgie and Mandy's first marriage, which has
Oh,
been super fun. So I'm not totally caught up. I know there's another episode this week that I haven't caught up, but I've watched the first two and I like the characters, although I do feel like it's a little extra hokey. Like the laugh track is a little like too much. It's a
hmm.
little distracting from like it's good writing. I don't know why they need to like overdub it too much, but I think they're trying to make it kind of silly. I don't know why. I, I would say just leave the characters as they are instead of making it more than it needs to be, but just my opinion.
I think Big Bang had a laugh track, didn't it? So,
Yeah, but it wasn't, I don't feel like it was as intense, I guess. Maybe.
okay.
Maybe because I'm just coming off of Young Sheldon, and Young Sheldon was very serious.
Mm.
There was very little like laugh tracky stuff. And this show has no narration at all, which is the same as Big Bang. But yeah, I don't know, it's just a little hokey. But I still like the characters. I still like what they're doing with it. I'm still gonna watch it.
I'll just get even nerdier and say Star Trek Lower Decks, which is the cartoon Star Trek that's out right now, and it's the final season. But it's surprisingly like watchable. It is like a normal Star Trek just with some jokes in it. Like they do go on missions and stuff and
Hmm.
plots and things like that. And I'm enjoying it. So,
I didn't know you were a Trekkie. I'm not sure we can be friends anymore. I'm kidding.
and leave meeting. No,
Actually, I am secretly a Trekkie. Don't tell my husband. I used to watch Next Gen when I was a kid,
and I'm
but
not even all the way through that one. I'm like stop. It's only when nothing's on. And now there's always something on. So,
right. Yeah, I had a friend who was really into it, so I watched it because I had a friend who was really into it. So that's what I had
yeah,
to do to keep my friend.
put in the work, just like with this podcast.
Exactly.
Uh, and I think Sadie Teal was the one I was trying to watch Star Trek for to begin with because she was going on a mission to try and watch them all in order, and then she bailed, and so even she didn't want to do it. But you know,
We need to email the producers and be like, that needs to be your new tagline. Star Trek, the show you watch for a friend.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure they'll like the narrative that Trekkies have friends. So
Right.
yeah, yeah. And I don't think even she was that into it, but oh well.
It had its moments, and I think every single person who watches Star Trek just wishes they had one of those food generator thing machines in their house. Like, that is
Mhm.
some sci-fi I could get behind. Like, any food you want, just say it and it'll make it for you. Oh, yes, sign me. Where do I take my money? Where do I sign? Like, I want that.
And if you did watch Next Gen, Riker, who is John Luke's right-hand man, he is married to an All My Children actress we have coming up. She's more known as a General Hospital actress, but she was on All My Children and loved her time on the show. So we'll get to her probably a few years from now.
A few years. Oh boy. Oh yeah, because we're still in like what, 80
80,
something?
84. You need to know about Adam Chandler.
Mm, sounds ominous as a name.
He's the richest man in town.
Hmm.
He proposed to Erica himself.
Dang.
Erica accepted. They got married in March. It's not fine. He's been having her followed. He's been tapping her phones. Erica has realized she's in love with Mike Roy, but she's like, we can't tell Adam right now. And Mike's like, let's just tell him because Mike's back in town.
Ah.
And in the meantime, Adam found out that before Adam and Erica's wedding, Erica slept with her ex Tom, and so he tried to have Tom killed. So he had Tom run off the road, but Tom survived. So Brooks basically decided to divorce Tom. Tom has started drinking because he's so depressed not to have his child or Brooke. His priest, Father Tierney, takes him to rehab, and Tom wants Brooke back and he thinks he has a chance with her when she's trying to save him from Adam Chandler, who he once again does not believe he should be scared of Adam, even though Brooke tells him he never listens to her. And
Dude,
as
that
you
would be
know,
like number one on the divorce proceedings. He never listens to me.
he gets very depressed again, but she's starting to consider letting him see their child, but maybe not with the way he's been acting. So we'll see how that all goes. So let me see.
Stop hanging out with psychos, Tom, and maybe I'll let you see your kid. Jeez.
And just listen to me one single time when I tell you something. Like, how many times has she been like, hey, that guy's crazy? And he's like, no, you're wrong. Uh,
I bet with the writing that it's something exactly like that. No, you're just wrong.
so now we have Phoebe and Langley. They've been rallying together because Adam has secretly been trying to build a gambling mall in town using Phoebe's land, which he got under false circumstances. And it looks like it's going to go his way. The judge ruled in his favor.
Shame on you. Shame on all of you. You're acting like a bunch of pusillanimous milksops.
But they get enough signatures, they get a petition, they get it on the ballot for an election. How timely. And, they stop the gambling mall. But as revenge, Adam reveals what has been a secret on the show for the last 4 years. Well, to Phoebe anyway, not to anyone else, but that Langley is actually a con man named Lenny Vlasic, not Langley Wallingford. And
Mm.
and so Phoebe finds out and she kicks him out of the house, but then she also disappears. So it's like, we're Phoebe. And that's where we leave them.
Okay. I'm not seeing a lot of winners so far. It's like a lot of people vying for the loser category. Tom and
Trying.
Adam are neck and neck.
We have Ellen and Ross is Adam's nephew. He's another rich guy. He's like the vice president of the company. And so Ellen was initially getting close to him because her granddaughter, Bonnie, kept saying she had an imaginary friend named Willie who was in the west wing of the Chandler mansion, which is always locked. And so Ellen was dating Ross to get close to the west wing of the mansion to find out who this imaginary guy is. But then they seem to be satisfied that he really was just an imaginary guy, and Ellen and Ross are falling in love for real. Spoiler alert, Willie is not imaginary, but Ellen and Ross are a couple now.
Hooray for true love, I guess. However, it may have started.
No concerns about this imaginary friend.
As long as he doesn't have a weapon. Does
Well,
he?
spoilers. So then we have Jesse, Angie, Greg, and Jenny. They're the teenage best friends. So Jesse nearly sells the club at one point because he feels disrespected by his BFFs, but they make up. Tony comes to them and is like, hey, I want to be friends. Greg and Jenny begin trying for a baby while Tony plots to kill Greg so he can have Jenny back because he figures the one thing standing in my way was Greg. And
Not the fact that she doesn't really love you.
yeah.
It has nothing
And,
to do with it.
yeah. And so at this point, he's fantasizing about poisoning Greg, but he realizes on the day he stole the poison, he was planning to poison Greg, and it might look a tad bit suspicious. So he backs out of that plan, but not of killing Greg. He just has to find another way.
Poison is too obvious.
Have Liza, poor Liza. So Tony is using Liza to pretend he's over Jenny. She's trying to rebuild her life and is trying to date nice guy Tony. But as we know, Tony is plotting to kill Greg. So after all
So
that
he
trauma.
So he
more
can
trauma.
marry Jenny.
So Tony's pretending to be nice boyfriend to Liza, but he's really just using her to, be like, oh, I'm over you, Jenny. I'm with Liza, not trying to kill your husband at all. Poor
So I
Liza.
don't look suspicious.
Liza also gets slut shamed by Langley, of all people, before he's exposed as a con man. And Marion, her mom, who she's been mad at because Marion is still trying to cheat on her husband, Liza's father, like she was with Tad. When Liza's slut shame, Marion goes to those society ladies like Phoebe and is like, hey, you can't talk about my daughter that way. Either you're a friend or you're not. And Liza is actually happy that her mom stood up for her this one time.
This one time.
We've had a few celebrities in the last few weeks, Chris Cooper and John Finn. And in Cliff's storyline now, we have Christian Slater as his former patient.
Wow. Christian Slater, that's a big get.
Well, he was a little kid at the time. It was before he was famous.
Oh.
A, a lot of
Oh,
these are
did he get
before,
his start? Did these guys get their start there?
yeah. Basically, the only thing with Cliff is he quits his research job because he misses his patients like baby Christian Slater. Then we have Tad, Dottie, and Hillary.
When I get to know somebody and they have a terrible personality, they start to get physically ugly to me. I don't know if that's the I'm like, oh, you were hot and now ew. Yuck.
Yeah, same. But I don't know. He must be amazing so that this keeps happening. So
It's gotta be
anyway,
like really good in bed or something. There's some some reason why all these girls are like, oh, Tad, treat me like garbage.
that brings us to Hillary. So Hillary is Langley's long lost daughter who came to town. Tad ends up dumping Dottie to get with Hillary, and Hillary is not a pushover for Tad. She says no to him, she calls him out, but she is attracted to him, and he's very attracted to the only woman in town who can resist him. And so he's scheming to get with her. She has feelings for him. She's trying to resist him. But Dottie is also scheming to get back together with Tad. Anyway, winners and losers of the week.
Ooh, well, literally up until the end there, I did not have a single winner, but Hillary is my winner for slapping Tad. That she is my winner
For resisting him
for
like no
resisting
woman
him and
can.
like no woman can. It's a toss up between Adam Chandler and Tom. I think Tom's just dumb. Adam Chandler's like legit psycho. So I'm gonna go Adam Chandler for loser of the week.
Since you got Adam, I'm gonna go Tom because I feel like he just keeps
Someone
sinking.
has to.
Loser of the week is Tom for me because he just keeps sinking lower and lower and lower. For winners of the week, I'll give it to Greg and Jenny for just being a happy couple while I still can. Thanks everyone for listening. Like, subscribe, comment,
Buy our
and
merch.
buy our merch. Well,
Well, bye.
bye. Thank you for listening. Our theme song is Wouldn't It Be Nice by Sound Mirage featuring Lady Rand. Please rate and review, download, subscribe, all the things. And you can email us at amcrewatch@gmail.com. Thanks. Talk to you next week.